Huh? Oh? Oh, here we go. Here it is. Is it? Here it is. Oh, I didn't set the... I didn't set it to Apex. Uh, now here. There we go. Hello. Um, you're probably wondering. So long story short, tonight's gonna be a short stream. Um, for various reasons that I will get into. As a lot of you may know, I have been basically just streaming more or less every day to try and get an idea of what the schedule is gonna look like. Um, that is still happening. I'm still trying my best to do it every single day, or at the very least as much as I can. Um, that kind of gets me into where I was yesterday. Why I didn't stream yesterday. It's not because I was lazy or anything, and I just super didn't want to, and I was like, finally hit my breaking point, because that's not what it was. um, I don't want to go into too much details because I know it's kind of difficult for the people involved. But I had to go help my mom after a car crash that she had yesterday morning. That spun off a whole list of different things that had to get done yesterday. She's fine ultimately, so don't worry about it all. She's doing okay. I mean, okay is relative. She's alive. She's doing well. She's almost 100% fully functional. Um, in the accident, somebody jerked to try to go left in front of her when she was going through an open green. And so it ended up hitting her in sort of the front corner, which pushed the whole front shaft, like front side of the car, into her hands. And so she has some problems that she's dealing with her hands, where they're all bruised up. The doctor said that there is a possibility that some of them could be broken, but more or less she didn't see anything immediately. In the what do you call them? X-rays. So she didn't see anything immediately in the X-rays that would warrant like needing to be crazy about. So she just has a couple of metal splint-like things. And with those metal splints, we still have to go get more because they only had so many at the doctor's office to sit and put on her hands. So yeah, I was basically figuring out that entire series of things yesterday that had to do with somebody running into my mom. So that was its own bucket of bolts. And then, and so I guess I could kind of go over the events, like the series of events. So she gets in an accident like super early in the morning, much earlier than I wake up, because she was trying to get to like a training that she was doing for a new job. And with that, the accident happened, so I had to go pick her up, and then we had to rush back home because she got checked out by the paramedics. She was doing okay, so they determined that it would be fine if she just went home, and then went to go see the doctor as soon as possible. Luckily, we were able to get an appointment set for that day. So I drive all the way across town to pick her up, and then I drive all the way back, and then I sign in for work, and I start working for a good while. I don't even remember how long. It was just a very stressful day. And then on my lunch break, I think Dude, I'm super not good at events. Cause it was so hectic, but like basically she went to the doctor, I took her to the doctor, but she got taken care of at the doctor, and then a couple here and there trips back happened, and then I had to sit down and deal with um I had to deal with work stuff too. So I was like working and then also juggling like being on my phone all day trying to figure out what all she needs to get done and taken care of. And so she's all calling the insurance company, and then they say, we need to sit down and, total the car. And so we want you to release it to the people. And then the insurance company's being all weird and it needs to happen today. So we got to sit down and worry about the insurance company on that day, and then go to the towing place to go pick up the rest of the stuff that was in the car that we couldn't get out in the initial accident. Because it was on like a busy road. And then we had to take it to the doctor's appointment, and then we had to get it all sorted. And then while we were waiting, the car that I was in, we rolled down all the windows because it was really hot and didn't want to run the car, waste gas, that kind of thing. So we rolled down all the windows, and the back left window decided that it just wanted to stay down and brake on me. So the only car that really kind of works that we could use to go and do stuff has now broken. Broken on some level where it's not safe enough to like go grocery shopping or something like that without having to have two people, so you can have one person sitting in the car making sure nobody's stealing stuff out of the car, or even worse, breaking into the car and stealing the car itself. And so you have to contend with that as a reality. And so I have to deal with that. So we got my brother in on it too, so now he has to go help with the groceries until I can sit down and get the window fixed, whether that means I fix it myself or somebody fixes it. We take it in to get repaired, but it's just as a whole nonsense nightmare thing. And then, like, finally get it all sorted out. Like, we're done talking to the insurance company. We're done talking to all these people. At somewhere around, like, 8 o'clock-ish, So at about 8 o'clock-ish, from morning until 8 o'clock, we had to sit down and deal with this whole thing. And then, of course, my mom is, like, she's hurting all over and having issues, and again, she's fine for the most part. A lot of it's just kind of shock. The biggest thing was just her hands getting smashed between the wheel and the dash because it, collapses the car a little bit and pushes all those features into each other. So we're going to have to see about that, and then we're probably going to have to go into the doctor's office again sometime in the future so that we can sit down and make sure that the radiologist has a chance to sit down and look at it all. And then we're probably going to have to go take another look and see about her forearms, because her forearm started to hurt a little bit more after the fact, and so we might have to go get more, x-rays. And then, she was sitting there saying that she's seeing some purple in her feet. So who knows, maybe her feet flew up and hit the bottom of the dash or something, or so it's just been quite the deal. And so basically by the time it was 8 o'clock and we had that all situated, then I had to figure out like just house and normal other life things that were not related to accident stuff and work. And so by the time that was all said and done, it was like 12 something o'clock, or who knows what. And that just kind of really broke the bank. And I was just kind of like, man, I gotta have a day. I can't stream. I'm already over, and it was basically like already past the timeline that I could sit and deal with that. And so that was just a whole deal. And then today I've been following up on all of the stuff that I wasn't able to get to yesterday because I was sitting and dealing with, the whole accident stuff and work, And so now that all the home stuff is done. Has that been used already? And so I had to sit down and get all the home stuff done, and especially because I think we're pretty kitted up. I'm pretty kitted up. So today, the reason I'm jumping on so late and I'm only going to be doing a short stream is because I had to get all the house stuff done because, you know, my mom can't use her hands, and then my dad also has his own situation going on, which I don't really want to get into. And so I've just been helping out, doing all the things, making the dinner, doing the laundry, getting all the stuffs taken care of. Again, all the stuffs that I wasn't able to get taken care of the night before because of all the nonsense. And then we also had to sit down and deal with more insurance company stuff and nonsense today. I don't even really know at this point because it was mainly just my mom sitting and talking about stuff and what have you to the insurance people, trying to figure that out. And then sometime this week we probably got to figure out a car situation so that we can actually have a car for her to get to work and for work to just be able to be a thing again. So we are figuring it out. But long story short, that is all the things that happened, and that is why it is at some level problematic. On some level, kind of problematic that I have not been able to do things today. So yeah, so now we're on Apex. Now we're on Apex. This is, again, ironically, weirdly, another cooldown moment for me because I just barely finished getting all the stuff done. After work, I sat down and got all the laundry done, and that took a good couple hours. And then I had to sit and get all the dishes done. And they're not even all done. I still have plenty more dishes to sit and do. I'm just still waiting on them to go through. And then after I get all the dishes done, then I'm gonna have to like help clean up around the house in certain places, so that's not problematic. And so tomorrow should hopefully be a semi-regular day. Tomorrow should be a semi-regular day, hopefully. And then we could maybe hopefully just get back to normal streaming again, and hopefully we could get back, I could get back to some level of just like normal days. I'm still gonna have to help out around the house a lot more, so it's not gonna be like quote-unquote normal days, but I help out around the house a pretty decent amount, disregarding that whole reality. So just one of those things, I think. I think we should let them face off. Oh, no? Okay, are they attacking a group? I can't see anybody on that smoke. Well, that's just nasty. Man. Ah, not good. We ranked up and now we're probably gonna de-rank. It's fine. We're gonna get the points eventually. Eventually we're gonna find a round that works. But yeah, so I've been kind of ranting on about that, but that is for 15 minutes or so now. Yeah. So, but that is the big gist is that accident happens. I have to juggle work and worrying about my mom, and then the doctor's office, and then tow truck people and all this other nonsense, and Ugh, it's just obnoxious. And then, you know, I'm a little annoyed at some of the people that were there. My mom said that like everybody who was there was like really nice, you know? She was saying that like the people who got in an accident were like very responsive and like gave, you know, the insurance and everything and like got that all taken care of, and that the, you know, police officers were really nice about the whole situation. And then you know, she just said that like everybody in that whole situation was just like really nice, which I'm really happy for. But I'm really upset at the tow dude who came out to the scene, because I showed up. um it's like a smaller crossroads. It's like a 2-lane like 4-way crossroad, you know. um but the road that the primary accident happened on ended up closing off that road. And so the tow truck dude was all just sitting there and being all like, nobody can go down this road because it'll cause problems with the towing or whatever. And it's like, okay, fine, I get it. Whatever, you don't want to cause problems with the towing, whatever, you know. So I get close by, you know, and I'm sitting there trying to like help and get stuff out of the car and figure that all out. So I go onto the far side behind where the cops are. Then that doesn't really seem like the best place to be. And so I had to do some like weird manangling, and I got stuck in a kind of weird position. So the cop sits there and says, "Hey, sorry, you gotta move, man. You're gonna stop the flow of traffic, right?" And I'm like, "Okay." So he sits there and he goes, "How about you go ahead and turn around and try to, you know, take a left so you can get onto the road where the other dude is, you know, or where the tow truck guy is, right?" And I'm like, okay. So I do that, and I go and I turn around, and now I'm facing towards the tow truck guy who's blocked off the whole road. And he's just standing there in the middle of the road, looking all humpus pumpus, you know, being just total a-hole, right, kind of guy. And I start pulling through. And the guy must have seen me, and he must have known that I was, like, there to help somebody, because I had been sitting there for, like, you know, 5 some odd minutes or something. And I opened my window, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, could you, like, move? Like, what's going on here, right?" And he's all like, you know, you can't do this. You can't turn here, right? There's an accident, and if you keep sitting here, you're going to cause another accident. And he was just being all pedantic and, like, an a-hole. And I could hardly hear him, too. So I'm like, what are you even trying to say right now? And so I'm just yelling at the dude, like, man, I am trying to, like, come help my mom who's been in an accident. You know, and he's just being a total a-hole, and he just wouldn't move. And so I was just like, dude, and I was like telling the guy, I was like, the cop who's here told me to go down that road, flip around, and hit a left, you know? And he's just like, "Oh, I don't care, you can't go through here, gonna cause an accident, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just like, man, you're an a-hole. And, you know, and then the like, left-hand turn lane was open, because nobody, luckily, was taking a left-hand turn there at that moment. And so I was like, man, you know what? There's an open way to just get around this fool, you know? And so I just went around him, and I looked over, and he was not having it. He was so, like, pissed. He was upset, you know? And I was just like, you know what? You could be upset. Like, I'm here to help my mom, who's been in an accident, who's having an issue right now. And how dare you sit here and be just an absolute tragedy of a human being? Like, come on, you know, right? And then I'm all stressed out now, and I'm like, and then, you know, I'm all worried about the cops, because, like, I'm worried that like, you know, the one dude wrongfully told me to go over there, you know, like, even though the other cops maybe didn't want me over there. And then the dudes, and then, like, it all kind of resolves up, and we're just finishing up paperwork. I have my mom in the car and everything. And then the cops come over and they're like, "Okay, here's the information, yada yada. Go ahead and just fill it out and we'll be good." Oh, that's nasty. There's a whole team here. Does it really matter if I try to? Yeah, I don't. Oh, he's still way back there trying to grab his old gear. And then your left toe. Yep, just got spiced out on. See, that's why this sucks so bad, because we got a full squad wipe, and we're not going to get any significant points out of it. It's so upsetting. But anyway, the cops show up to like finish out the last bit of the. I mean, the police officers. I say cop because it's a fun word that I enjoy. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. If you are a cop or if you are a police officer, if you are a police officer of the law, I am sorry if that's upsetting. It's just a fun. It's a fun, short, cool word that's easy to say. It's. There is absolutely no other reason for it. I'm not using it in any level of disrespect, you know, right? Like I really, you know, I respect people's positions, even like I respect anybody who does a service position. I respect what they do, you know, whether that's a firefighter, a cop, a police officer, XYZ, what have you. I respect people who do that kind of stuff because like. And that's not a job that that's not the kind of job that I'm okay doing. I did customer service for 3 years and that really shook up my psyche as a person. And that's just customer service in retail, man. Like, you know, those guys going out there and having to deal with stuff like woof. I know there's a lot of problems. I'm not going to get too particular, too political. But the fact that I was stressed out in that situation and they were able to come along and the people that I dealt with in that situation were specifically very calm and very kind. I'm extremely happy about that. I'm extremely happy about that. But anyway, they came by and they were like, "Hey, here's all this stuff. You're good to go." And then my mom's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. He's like parked over here. I know it's kind of a weird position and like, you know, it's a 1-lane road and like, we're sorry, you know, yada yada." And then the cops are like, "Oh no, that's where I would have told him to go anyway, right? Like you're good, you're fine, you know? Like just no worries, kind of get regrouped and then you guys can go ahead and head out whenever you feel comfortable." And I'm just like, so this tow truck guy was just being a monster for no reason. Like he's just being a total a-hole for no reason. Like he knew my situation, he knew what I was trying to do. I at the very least did the best I could with communicating that point. And he was just being an a-hole. And so, like, everybody in the whole situation, between the people who crashed into my mom, you know, the police officers, all of that, they were all calm and they were all being super nice and super forward and, you know, decent people. But the one dude who's an a-hole is the guy whose literal job it is to just come by and pick up the car. He doesn't have to talk to anybody. He doesn't have to interact with anybody. He just goes, "Hey, I'm picking up your car. Here's our information." You know, like that's all he has to do. He doesn't have to sit down and like, you know, interact with people or whatever, yada yada yada. He just has to stand there and do nothing. You know, and it's like if I had been breaking the law so badly by going around him, he should have sat and like hosed down the cops really quick to be like, "Hey, check out this a-hole. He's you know breaking through my one-man barrier of trying to make sure nobody goes on this cleaned out and no other problems road." You know, and so I'm just upset. I'm a little salty at that guy because he made a situation that was stressful all that much more stressful. And it's one of those things where it's like, bad call, guy, bad call. You know, like that's the one situation where you don't have to be an a-hole. You know, and you know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt because you know it's like it's you know it was the start of the day, right? Like it was really early in the morning. I'm sure he's not feeling like all too hot about running around early in the morning, but it's like, you know what? We're the people in the accident here, you know. We're the parties involved with an accident. That does, you know, you don't have to be an a-hole about it. Right? Like, come on, man. Come on. So anyway. Anyway, I'm just upset. I'm still upset. It's been an ongoing thing. For multiple reasons, under multiple contexts and pretexts, it's been difficult to deal with, you know. And so I've been stressed out. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. That's more or less the long short of it all. I thought I should bring it up specifically because I was very upset with that guy. You know, he really honestly took a bad situation and made it worse. If you're a tow truck person out there, don't be that guy. I don't care, you know, what's going on. Unless you have somebody literally yelling at you and like super causing you issues, don't be that guy. Don't be the guy who's gonna sit there and be like, well, huff puff puff, I'm the guy standing here and making sure no one's supposed to go past this road. You know, and it's like, get a head on your shoulders. There's no problem with me going over here right now. Like, chill out, bro. You know, like, it was really upsetting me. Very, very upsetting me. So I'm sorry. I just had to bring that reality up for a minute because I feel like it's a contributor to like what was kind of going on. It's kind of a contributor to why my stress was so high, and even though it was like really late at night, why I didn't do anything about it. So I felt it was a big contributor to the whole thing because it set the whole rest of the day off. And I was just on a tripwire for the rest of the day, man. I was just like, these people, you think they're all cool, crazy cats running around, you know, like, oh, look at me, I'm standing in front of the road because that's my job. Ooh, it's just, you know. So it just made me upset at literally anyone and everybody else, even though everybody else for the whole rest of the day was like being nice. I think only on some small regard it was a little upsetting because we couldn't see our standard doctor to sit down and takes the x-rays and stuff. It was somebody who was a little bit newer with the practice. And so it kind of felt like, ah, man, you know, we're getting good service, but like, you know, like I have confidence in her ability as, you know, I have confidence in her ability as a doctor, right? Like, if anybody's able to pass the tests and stuff that they put out and do all the prerequisites to become a doctor, I have full confidence. I have full confidence in them, you know? But it was still one of those things where it's like, it sucks because, you know, you're meeting with somebody who doesn't know your background. It's all this, you know, nonsense. And it's like, oh, this is not ideal, you know? And, so... I don't know. I think that's enough complaining. I really wanted to drive home, like, why it was that we ended up not having a stream yesterday, and why the stream today is going to be a little bit shorter. So, that's just how it is. I was able to fix my chair. I know that there was a stream the other day where my chair fell apart, and it was kind of embarrassing. And, you know, it was only embarrassing because it's like, I've never broken chairs like that. You know, you gonna get on? I'm just gonna zip us over. I'll just go over there. Oh, I was just zipping. Was there enemies here? Okay. I only use those for short transport missions. There's no real reason to use them for much else. Because it's a huge target that literally anybody and everybody can see. And if you get off of it after being spotted, you're gonna get tracked down by everybody else on the map. And it's the worst thing to do, man. It's absolutely not a good decision. Now, if you're trying to, like, if you're trying to goad out people to sit and attack you so that you can get their positions, maybe that's a viable strategy, but, like, you only really need to use it to go fast and to get from point A to point B. You only need it for that reason, man. Oh, just I guess just to finish up on my chair, there's not really much to it. They're junky chairs that we bought, like, forever ago, and they've always sucked, and my brother had to go return his... Well, first, they decided to sit down and give him a replacement chair for free, and we were like, whoa, cool. And then that one broke again, and so he was like, I'm just going to return it. So he returned the chair, and they were like, no, just keep it, you know, it's whatever at this point. And we were all like, okay. So now we have 3 of these chairs. So we took the parts that were broken off the other ones and gave it to our mom. And then we still had, like, the other one that's been sitting around for parts. And then mine broke on stream, you know? And so it's just like, gah. And so I was able to take the last replacement arm piece off of the one that was broken. So now I have a fully and completely operational chair again. It's not a good chair. It still hurts my butt after, like, after if you sit in it for 2 hours or any much more past that, it like severely hurts my butt and it severely causes a problem. That's it's another small reason, but not the explicit reason as to why I try to put pressure on the idea of making sure you sit down and get up and walk around, because it's one of those things where it's like you might not even notice that that's an issue initially, and that's why it's kind of important that you do sit down and take the minute to like stand up and move around, because hey, you know, you might not even notice that you're developing a blood clot or other serious issues, you know. So, why does he want to go over there? Oh, he's just pointing out a box. So that's why I try to put some pressure on it. It's because even if whether or not you notice, those are problems that you have to deal with when you sit down. And we are a society where we sit down a lot. And I'm a larger person. I'm not like fat, but I'm a larger person. I'm a heavier person. Got a lot of mass going around, you know. So my doctors have told me, even though I haven't had any problems yet, my doctors have told me, like, you're at much more risk with your desk job and all these other factors of developing these issues. So just keep an eye on it. It's like, ah, okay. I see.
Somebody has already been over there.
Very well.
There was some kind of, like, effect that happened. Some kind of orange bubble effect happened over there.
1 minute. The ring isn't far.
Are they close by, or? But anyway, so we got our chair fixed today too. Yay! Wasn't able to sit down and figure out my car because I was just exhausted. After I got all the other house stuff done for the day, I was just kind of sitting there going like, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of done. It's super late at night. I only really have an hour and a half left of the day. So I sat there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and do a stream. The people deserve to know why I decided to sit down and not do a stream yesterday. And you know what? I want to try and keep on top of it as best I can, so. We're doing a stream today. I don't have a lot to talk about. Like I said, I'm still slightly stressed out. Just in general. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, are you serious? I only got one pellet off on him. Let's try to... Ring's closed in. It's closing in, especially still, too. They must be running off. Oh! I can't believe they're still trying to play this zone. Whoa! Okay. That's problematic. Oh, why didn't that track at all? Man, that was a really close match. Sorry, I'm concentrating, man. I'm concentrating big time. I'm tired and I'm concentrating big time. I have only found reasons to be tired this last week, man. It's been a wild ride. We got a pack though. Here we go. Look at this. Enter the shadows. Whoa. It's a hollow spray. That's kind of nice. That's kind of neat. That's neat. It's forgettable. It's been a while since I've done one of her other skins. I just love the blue one. I feel like it's because like she has the blue electricity and it's like a cool black jumpsuit and everything and oh, I was also able to while I was doing the dishes because I was the one taking heed over most of the dishes. I was able to wash my water bottles. So instead of just having the random cup that I use for like a week until I throw away, or like a water bottle I use for a month and then throw away, my reusable ones finally got washed because I finally decided to sit down and wash them. The problem is that by the time we ended up getting around to dishwashing, right? Like, it would be full of other more important things. Like our sink would be full of more important things to like wash. And so like every time we were able to get around to washing dishes, my water bottles always got excluded, especially because they don't fit in the dishwasher on the top rack, which is the only place that they can go without melting. So even if you put it on a gentle cycle, it still is like prone to melting the kinds of plastics that are used in these water bottles, these like reusable ones. And so I finally, because I was the one making the big head decisions on it, I was able to sit down and put my water bottle in there and finally get it washed this time. Just committed to it because it's something I use all the time.
Yeah.
And I finally have started to get tired of the random cup or assorted non-reusable, reusable water bottle. You know, that's a thing that I think is really weird. Apparently, a lot of people have pretty big preferences on bottled water, which I can understand, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I totally get it, because, like, depending on the way that they process it or what else that they put into it to enrich it, it can create, like, a really different flavor, you know? So it's like, I get it, right? Like, I get it, you know? But, in the same breath, it's just kind of like, hey, what's the point? Why are we trying so hard to make water taste different from each other? Why is there not a universal, like, flavor for water that all the companies can agree on when it comes to bottled water? It seems like a very small, weird thing, but it also seems like something that we should do. Like, why don't we just sit down and make water that's tasteless so that we can sit down and all put it in different water bottles and brand it differently, but always know that it doesn't really matter. I don't know. It's such a weird thing for me because it's like, why does there have to be a preference on water bottles? Why is that a thing? Why can't water just all be the same? You know, why can't there maybe even be like, you know, a law to say water must taste within, you know, the same level amount or something? I know I'm being weird, and I know that's something that a lot of people probably wouldn't like, but hey man, I'm all about simplifying life in my world, and water bottle preference is one of the weird things that just makes life that slightly more difficult and annoying. So, I don't know. I know I'm being weird and specific, especially even though I'm sitting down and agreeing with the fundamental reality that it makes a difference depending on what kind you have, what kind of water you have and stuff. Is he saying there's somebody there, or no? Okay. Which I get, because again, right? Like Aquafina, icky. The reason I don't like Aquafina is because, and the parent company of Aquafina, don't take it the wrong way. There's so much hyper preference on this kind of thing, and that's what I'm trying to kind of get at. Is like there's so much preference on it
I'm still good.
that like me not liking it is okay. Like if you have other products
Level
that
3.
you want to sponsor me with eventually, if I forget to take down these
Okay.
VODs years into the future. Um, like, let's be real. Aquafina is salty, weird, nasty water. And I think it's Aquafina that also is like tries to put a little bit of, like sugar flavor or something in it. So it kind of makes it like feel slimy almost, you know? Oh, and there was what brand was it? I don't know if it was Aquafina. It's Dasani. I'm pretty sure. I cannot verify it, but I am pretty sure it's Dasani,
Can see that the
where somebody did research into Dasani years upon years ago. So it might not be the fact now, but somebody did research into Dasani years upon years ago, and what they found was that the types of ingredients that they use for Dasani are all intended to make you want to drink more water and be more thirsty.
battery here. Okay,
You know, right?
range.
Right? Like it's insane if you think about it, right? And you might be thinking like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like
Care package.
they put salt in it, right? Like so they make it salty, you know, and then they put some other kind of chemical in it that like dries your mouth out quicker. So if you drink it, not only is it salty, but it dries your mouth out quicker. And then I think there's like some other small chemical in it that like induces something or another. I feel like there was 3 points to it, but the two big ones were that there was like an agent in it that
God have a
helps
support.
dry your saliva, or like as a side effect makes your mouth drier quicker, you know? And so
Go shield here.
the whole idea is essentially that like
Battery here.
you drink it and then it's salty, and so like even though that's like electrolytes and there's a reason for it to be in there, it like
Yeah, I took a gold
it
shield.
makes
Now I need-
you thirstier because you have all this salt now, and now there's like a deficit of like water in your situation, you know, compared to how much salt you have in your body.
Shield battery here.
And then because it has this like drying agent in it or whatever, like it's some preservative chemical or something, but it has like a side effect of like making it so that
Over there.
it dries your mouth out quick. And so the idea is that like
Let's go
you
check
drink
that
a
out.
Dasani and you go, that was refreshing, and then you sit there and like 30 minutes later, like an hour later, you're sitting there going, oh, you know what? I'm thirsty again, you know? And that's like the whole point, right?
I hit somebody.
Wow, is there 3 teams over there
I
right
feel
now?
like there is already first party.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick back and snipe out these guys.
Throw an arc star. I killed an enemy.
Nice. Are you guys going full bore into it? I would just stick back and snipe out on people, man.
Firing.
There's already like 3-4
Enemy
He's
down.
pushing.
groups over there.
Yo, cracked an enemy.
Crack.
I know there was definitely at least 2 teams over there.
Friends. Reload.
I downed an adversary.
Cracked an enemy shield.
Was shot
Ow.
from another squad.
Getting shot at.
On me. Stay low.
Oh no, I have been down.
Man, this is exactly what I wanted to try and avoid.
Going to check out over there. We're not alone.
Oh my god, he
Watch
swapped
out.
the shield. Yeah, I'm trying to get out of there.
Bad guys, let's do this.
You can pick
Hold
me
on.
up.
Let me help you.
Jump pad, jump pad.
Charging on my shield. And then there were
I took the bench.
Next one is far.
Amigos, let's go here. Charging shields. Come on, come on.
Oh, they're fighting.
Sorry, I'm concentrating big time, guys. I'm really sorry.
Just sending a replicator down if you need
Oh, but yeah, water is a big thing. I don't know if I have much more to say about that, but Dasani and actually, you know, most brands do kind of taste kind of weird. I'm being honest. The only ones that I really like are oh, what is it called? Arrowhead. Arrowhead is the only water that I really sit down and it like if somebody offered Arrowhead water, I'd be like, dude, solid stuff, you know. That's not.
Shield battery here. Dead here.
Havakia.
Here I come. Back from the sky.
Car SMG here.
I think let's go to the zone.
All right,
Jump pad out.
we gotta get out of here because those guys are still behind us.
Medkit here.
I'm going to scan that area for movement. 1 minute.
Contact with enemy.
Oh!
We've got company. Look out. Opening fire on the enemy.
No, 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 no.
Oh my god, another squad.
Ah, man. You know, I know that guy was trying to, like, give me a little bit of an issue, but I don't think he realizes that, like, there were 3 squads there, and I was sitting down and sniping people most of the time. Actually, I didn't do a lot of damage, so, okay. Alright, I'll take the blame for that. But honestly, man, let's just be real with each other here. I was in the better position by sitting back and sniping. That's the honest to goodness truth. We should have sat back and sniped and took a defensive position. Because that's exactly what the people did who sat up on that ridge, is they just sat up there and waited for the ring to start closing so they could sit down and just pipe out everybody who was coming in that little zone. And guess who decided to take them out? And then guess who followed us over to kill us? And then they're all sitting there going like, we needed you in that fight. And it's like, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. But also, should have sat back and just kind of like attacked or tried to go forward and try to be in the ring. I think that's something a lot of, even though I'm not good at the game and I'm never going to feel like I'm good at the game, and honestly, I'm probably never going to be like, you know, like a super high rank or anything, but it is a little annoying when you play in lower ranks like this and people just don't understand the fact that, like, it's not always about the immediacy of the kill. Sometimes it's about positioning so you can get a better kill on the enemy team. Once you start to get to, like, extremely high ranks and extremely high levels, a lot of that just kind of goes out the window, and it really is just kind of like micromanagement of your position. Because people in high rank stuff, they can snipe you from across the map with like absolutely nothing attached to their weapon. They can like iron sight you from across the map, and it's crazy. It's so much fun to watch people who are like extremely high rank. But it is still a little annoying in low rank where it's like positioning means everything. Oh is he going?
Reloading.
Why did he quit out immediately? Ah, what a loser. You only
Reloading.
don't hit the shots that you don't take or something like that. Gosh dang it. I'm just upset. I can't believe he completely, like, quit out like that.
First blood. Should have seen that coming.
Yeah, back up for a minute. Back up for a minute, Mizu. And then...
Getting shot at.
There's almost no more reason to engage these people.
Need to recharge
Do
my
I have
shield.
sniper? I do have sniper. Oh, come on! There we go.
Broken enemy shield. No kill leader. Watch your kill.
There's another team there. We're technically third partying right now, but not really. Man, where are they going to? Where are they going to?
Tossing an actor.
Anybody over there? No? Nobody's on that box anymore. Goodness, he blended into the environment. Oh, no! 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 Low rank stuff. He's so low, man. Like, if you can just get the damage out on him, it's game over. That is so rude. That is the rudest way to play the game. To use your ultimate to just walk up on somebody and spike him out like that. That is the absolute rudest thing I think I've ever seen. I haven't been paying attention to points. Where are we at for rank right now? We're still super low. I haven't even been playing ranked. I haven't even played ranked. I haven't even been playing ranked. You know, I should have known. I should have known, because we weren't playing on Stormpoint that we weren't playing a ranked match. Why? So basically, I've just been playing Apex for the last hour. You know, though, I've been having fun, so it's whatever, but... Oh, man. The reason that I think maybe I feel like I wanted to talk about bottled water is because there were like a lot of bottled waters in the car when we had to go through and clean it out. Not like a lot, but there was like 2 or 3 that were still full. And driving around all of yesterday, it made me feel like I was like going on vacation or something, how much I was driving. Because I had to like go across town and then back home and then across town and back home. Like I was driving literally for probably like, I don't know, I honestly don't. I'm not even going to try to put a number on how long I was driving. All day. I was driving all day. You know, right? Or at the very least, it felt like that. But, oh, and then we got to, we had to go to the gas station for a hot minute. And so, like, we had the gas station smell, and then somebody was lighting up a fresh... No, it wasn't at the gas station then, because you can't smoke at the gas station.
Let's get to work.
The gas station was one of the stops we had to go because we used so much gas that we had to fuel up for yesterday. We were... Where were we at? Where were we? I don't think it really matters too much. We were at some location, whether it was the doctor's or something. But some dude was like letting up a fresh smoke, you know, and like I'd been driving around all day, and like my whole back and my butt was just like sweaty, and like I was just like stuck to the chair. I had just become part of the chair because of how hot it was. And it's just, and all the places that we went to, right? Like it just felt like I was on vacation, you know? Because that's what you do. Because when we go on vacation, we go to vacation down in California. It's a hop and a skip away from where I live, which I'm not going to say where. But we go to California a lot. And it's a pretty decent drive, to say the least. And the one thing that I always remember is depending on what route we take, we'll go through like Nevada and we'll be like in Vegas. Sometimes we visit Vegas on the way there too. And in Vegas, people are unapologetic about how much they smoke in Vegas. Which, like, I get it, but like people just don't care about their surroundings with Vegas and with respect to Las Vegas. You know? Which again, it's like you do you. But it like every time I feel like I smell somebody smoking, it's always Las Vegas, and it always reminds me of vacation. And it's just crazy. But that's why I remember water bottles, because we always bring a pack of water bottles, because apparently there's not a lot of great places in California that don't have stinky water, like stinky tap water, sorry. And so we sat down and we're kind of like, every time we go on vacation, we sit down and we try to set up a pack of water to sit and deal with. And so it's always a point of contention, because some places will have Arrowhead water and some places won't. And then you never know, and so you're kind of like sitting there going like, I don't know. Are they going to have water that's drinkable for a long trip? That's not going to make me feel sick. And that's the thing, like the kind of water that's not going to make me feel sick, right? Like I'm sure there's water out there that like will taste good if I'm not in a situation where I'm in a car for 100 hours. But certain waters, if you drink them on the road, they will make you feel sick no matter what. So that's why we always go for Arrowhead water. But then everywhere in California, they have like Aquafina, I think it is. Like I feel like at every gas station and everywhere you go, all the hotels you can stay at, there's just like always Aquafina everywhere in California, which is just wild to me. Oh man, but it's been a long time since I've been to California. It's not a good excuse, but world events have still prevented us from being able to go to California. What? Did you throw that grenade? Was that from the Spectre that threw the grenade? I've never seen him throw a grenade before. That's wild. But I haven't been to California in so long, man. The one place I really want to go to that I just super have not been in a long time is down in California. There is a museum that's called the Huntsman Museum, or like the Huntsman. I think it is just the Huntsman Museum. Huntsman Estate. Like there was an old guy who lived a long time ago at like the founding of California, and he got a lot of money, and his name was Huntsman. And so henceforth, the Huntsman Estates, the Huntsman Park, whatever it's called. I feel so upset about it because I absolutely love going there, but there's this huge garden that they have on the premises that they sit down and care to all the time. And it is an incredibly beautiful place. There's so many things I never thought would be capable of growing in California until I went to the Huntsman Park. I don't know what it is. Let me pull it up real quick. Actually, let me just tab out since this guy's got me on his thing. Huntsman, California Huntsman, James Huntsman. Huntsman Park? Hold on. What is he doing right now? Yeah, okay, drive it. I'm trying to Google here. Huntsman... No, Mobile Park Home? Oh, this is gonna drive me wild. This is gonna drive me absolutely insane. Oh, that's gonna drive me insane. It didn't pull up when I Googled it. Oh... I feel incredibly sorry about that. I'm in the middle of a game. Once we end this match, I am going to look that up. That has me so frustrated. It is the coolest place in California that I feel like I've ever been to. Because they spend a lot of money too on like in the back of this area, and it's all like part of his greater estate, right? Like they donated the estate to be something that the public could all go walk around and see how this billionaire, like billionaire back in the day, billionaire used to sit down and like spend his money. And it's incredible because he has this like he has an entire Japanese home and like an entire Japanese garden on his estate. And there's all these beautiful like trees and stuff that they have, and they built out an entire Japanese garden on this dude's estate back in the day. Or it's like more of a relatively new thing. I'm not entirely sure. But they have that. And then if you go at the right time in the spring, they also have a huge rose garden. And there's like, I would want to say like at least a good couple, or at least 100, maybe more like different types of roses. And they're all like strewn about in this like massive garden zone. And it's absolutely wonderful. And I know that's like coming from a dude and everything. So that should mean something, man. Like it's a good time. If you're going to California on vacation to like relax, the place with which I will find the correct name, but it is called Huntsman something or another, it's the place to be. I will pull that up. That is the most frustrating thing I think I've ever had to deal with. That is the most frustrating flummox thing that I've ever had to deal with, man. I'm so upset. But anywho, I'd say that like the other kinds of things that I miss are get off the car. This is why I don't like being on the car, man. And now I'm almost close to dying. They went into the building. Ugh. What a nasty dude. He's just hitting me with the arrows the whole time. It's because Silver Leon didn't sit down and stop sooner. It's whatever. It's okay. We're doing okay. It's getting a little bit closer to the end of stream. I think I'm getting to a point where I'm going to be done with the stream anyway. I'm a little annoyed. I thought we were going to be sitting down and doing... I got to pay attention more, I guess, but I thought we were going to sit down and do... I never updated the name. I never updated the name. And we went down a rank. What an incredible end to the day. I sit down and tell you guys all about how I missed last time's stream because of issues. Talked about water, talked about California. There's a lot more to talk about California, man. Our family goes to California all the gosh dang time. It's not like the pent up nonsense or whatever. We try to like really sit down and go see all the really cool and small like little nitpick things in California. Huntsman, what is this called? Huntsman Estate Park, California. Oh my goodness. What is happening? I need to find this. Hold on. Okay. Museums in California. Okay. The Getty California State Railroad, Los Angeles County, Peterson Automotive, the Getty, Norton Simon Museum, Computer History, Bowers Museum, Griffith Observatory, Charles M. The Broad, Folsom, the Technological Museum Making Music, Natural History Museum, Marchfield San Francisco Museum, Craftsman Aerospace, Corona Heritage. That name probably doesn't age well. California Science, Ronald Reagan something. I was saying it wrong. It is the Huntington Library, Huntsman. It's the Huntington Library. Ah, That's what it is. The Huntington Library, Art Museum, and Botanical Gardens. That place is absolutely just the best in the world, man. I love going there. It has such incredible cool stuff there, man. Ah! That's what it is. It's the Huntington Library. I'm pulling up their website. I'm like looking through their website. You go to this website if you're interested. Go to the website if you go to this place if you're anywhere in California, and they still are like open. I don't know if they're open. I don't know how California is doing. I feel like California was one of the bigger states to enforce mandatory COVID stiffs. So, yeah, dude, this place is incredible. I love going to the Huntington Library, man. Ah, the Huntington Library. It's such a cool place to go. It's such a cool place to go, friends. That made me happy. Just thinking about that place made me happy after a long yesterday and a long day today. Oh, that is incredible. I love going there so much. I should probably talk about it now because I'm going to forget about the fact that I talked about it today. But so I don't know. Should I save this for like next stream or something? I feel like I should save it for next stream because I want to talk about California a little bit more. I feel like it's going to make me a little bit more excited and happy about the next stream tomorrow. Hopefully the day is just normal. Hopefully I don't have to go do stuff like going around and shopping for a new car. But the Huntington Library. The Huntington Library. That place is incredible. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember that for next stream. We're going to talk about the Huntington Library next stream. It's getting too late where I'm at. I do need to wake up for work stuffs tomorrow. I have a meeting tomorrow morning. Hot dog! I got to wake up for that. So this brings us to the end of the stream and a moment in time with which I would like to sit down and press my agenda. It's a good one. It's three very short, small things. If you have not had a chance, go ahead and take the chance to stand up, kind of walk around, get your blood flowing, kind of deal with. I think my mic is popping. Hold on, real quick. Let me make sure it hasn't been popping. Hold on, real quick. Let me make sure. Okay. Well, if it has been popping, if it has been having an issue, it doesn't seem like it has been on the stream, so we're good. But go ahead and take the chance to stand up, walk around. It's a good chance to get rid of the sweat that's going on. It's a good chance to just kind of like get your blood flowing. It really helps. You don't want to get blood clots. You don't want to have other problems and issues. And it gives yourself a chance to kind of get up and relax and enjoy stuff. If you've been on your feet all day and you have just sat down, that's incredible. You're more than welcome to sit down for the next hour, next couple hours. My mic is really popping at me now. It's getting upset. I'm probably going to have to fix that too after stream. So, but anyway, the second one, something you could do in conjunction with the first one, if you would like, is to get some water if you don't have some with you or haven't been drinking water recently. It's a good thing to stay very hydrated. There's a lot of nasty side effects that happen with not getting water. And being very thoroughly well hydrated is a great thing. I haven't had issues with either of those two things in my life, but I have been on the fringes of having issues with those two things in my life, which is why I really want to sit down and press it very heavily. Because when I was a kid, I was taught more or less just drink water when you're thirsty. And because I would like eat a little bit more than like other people would eat, and I was slightly more sedentary. I had a slightly more sedentary lifestyle for the most part, like outside of school. I wasn't perspirating a lot. I wasn't like, having too much issues. So I just like wouldn't drink water for most of the day. And that's kind of just how I lived my life for a long time until I got to college, where I started to realize pretty quickly that there was not a lot of clean or good water anywhere around, especially not a lot of good clean water that was cheap. Um, because I had to sit down and spend like $3 or $4 or $5 on a bottle of water, bringing it back to bottled water. And so I started sitting down and bringing a lot of water with me to school, and I started to feel a lot more refreshed. My mind was starting to work a lot better. I was able to start getting rid of a lot of mind and mental fog by just having water by me that I could just drink whenever I needed to. And I never had to worry about, am I going to have enough water through the day at school or something like that. And I know there's drinking fountains and stuff. That's beside the point. Um, because it was always nasty, or I never had enough time between classes to like really seek out water fountains because they weren't like easy to find for some weird reason at the school I went to. So it was like there was like one or two hidden in like a building 2 buildings away, and so it's like, cool. I'd walk 2 buildings away to get the free water, or I spend $4 or $5 on the water that's just right next to me in the vending machine. Awesome. So I would sit down and I would get some water, have some bottled water with me, and it really honestly 100% did change my school experience, my whole situation life. So have some water just with you. Just have it with you. You don't have to drink it. Just have it next to you. At the very least, I would still like to pressure, and I would still like to ask you guys to sit down and take the opportunity to drink some water if you have not drank any water recently. The last one, and the one that I'm going to put the most pressure and stress on, especially because it's partly the reason that I'm ending stream, is to get some good sleep. If it's late where you are, there is always tomorrow to sit down and watch content. I'm sure if you're the kind of person who sits down and watches a lot of content, there's going to be more content tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and it's going to be on the internet. And as far as we can look into the future, the internet is important enough for as many people as possible, and humanity will be doing its gosh darndest to make sure the internet is up and running indefinitely, because there's literally trillions of dollars behind the internet. So chances are, if it's on a big platform or it's something like that, it's gotta be available tomorrow. Just put it away and go look at it tomorrow. And if it really is like a contentious thing where like some, like you're on Twitter or something and some, person who you're really interested in, like a rapper or like a musician or like an actor, actress says something on Twitter and it's like contentious and they delete it overnight, there's gonna be somebody who retweets a screenshot of it. There's gonna be information on it. You can just look it up tomorrow. Right? Like it's so much more important that you get sleep. There are an incredible amount of health things and health benefits that you get from just going the gosh dang to bed. So take the time. I'm not trying to be mean and rude. I actually really do try to be. I'm just in a mean, rude spirit and feeling but the last couple days I've had have just been obnoxious. But but really, truly, and honestly, getting some good sleep is absolutely worth it. You can always pick up on wherever you were tomorrow. You can always do whatever you're doing tomorrow. Even if you're watching me, and I've seen this, people will go back and watch my VODs instead of actually sitting down and watching the stream live, which I can completely understand. 100%, right? Take the time to get some sleep and treat you correctly and treat yourself right. Treat yourself right, people. Get some good sleep. You deserve it. You need it. But anyway, I have plenty to talk about with California tomorrow and with the Huntington Museum. I have plenty to talk about with that place. I have plenty to talk about with California. I absolutely love it. There's a lot of stories that I have about going on vacation to California. It's such a great place to be. Going on vacation, I'm sure there's people who have their reservations with living there or other factors about it. But if you go on vacation there, it's such an incredible place to be. Maybe it's just my preference, but I love the beach. I love being in places where the beach is quickly available. And California is one of those places. And there are also warm beaches. It's incredible. It's a great place to be. But we're going to go ahead and call it a night here. Hopefully, this is going to be the big end to most of the nonsense. Hopefully, we can just, because my mom was able to get work off. I mean, she sits down and types all day, so her fingers being maybe not broken, kind of imperative to that as a job. So she was able to sit down and get the time off to sit and do that. So hopefully she could just sit down and relax and we can figure out getting a car sometime later. Um, I'm going to be working and helping out, but hopefully I can be efficient enough with it all to just get it done first hour or two after I get off work. And hopefully we can go back to a normal stream schedule. And then hopefully after some time we can figure out what schedule actually 100% works. It looks like Apex has kind of been the thing that I sit down and put forward almost all the time. I think it's just because it's something that's consistent in my life to sit down and do and play. And I don't know. I really like Apex. There's not a lot about Apex that I don't like. It's one of the few things that I don't get overly agitated about. It's really hard for me to get upset, I think, at Apex. I will still get upset at it. Don't mind you, right? But I think it's very difficult to get upset about it because a lot of it at the end of the day is just your ability. It's just your pure raw ability and strategic prowess, which I love. A lot of other games, it's just like, I shot you twice in the chest with this very specific machine gun and you died. And it's like, oh, really? I shot you 20 times in the chest with this machine gun and your health barely went down. It's just so annoying. But Apex just feels a little different, just hits a little different. It's probably because I love Titanfall. I love Titanfall 1 and 2. They're absolutely my favorite games. And Apex is the thing that is preventing Titanfall 3. But I play it because we don't have a Titanfall 3. And it is a dangerous loop because me playing Apex shows the Apex devs that Apex is more worth it than sitting down and making a Titanfall 3. Even though the reason I'm playing Apex is because I want a Titanfall 3. And I love the kind of gameplay that they've created at Respawn. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and call this the absoluteness for going to bed and calling it a night with the stream. You guys have been incredibly wonderful. I really appreciate you guys coming by for the stream, checking out what it's all about. Today was a little bit of a different one. It's been a little different. I sat down and spent most of the stream talking about my experience over the last day or two, and then being really quiet for a hot minute because I was sitting down and focusing a little bit too hard because I'm tired, and then ranting about water and misremembering the name of my favorite place to go in California, aside from the beach. So I hope you guys liked it. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around. There's more on the way. Again, I'm working little bit by little bit to try to make the stream better. Today I tried to figure out, oh gosh, what was it today? Today I tried to figure out something. I know I sat down and figured it out. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how to run the stream so I could check for problems before I started the stream. It didn't really work out. I guess Twitch is a little weird and specific with how it does that kind of thing. But I'm going to have to see if there's a better way to do it just so I can kind of preview my stream. There was a tool I used years ago called Restream. It's just a website that like takes your keys for streaming and it'll just duplicate the stream to different streaming platforms for you. And on that, you could sit down and you could like just send a pre-stream out and just like make sure everything was working before you sat down and actually went live. I've yet to find a way to do that in OBS or with Twitch. There was an option to sit down and set it up so that I could do that, or something like that. But we're working on it, so stick with us. If that's the reason you feel like you might not want to hang out with us is because the stream's not up to snuff, I'm working on it. We're getting there. It's happening. It's happening. I saw somebody just jump in. I love you, and I love you for jumping by. One of my big mottos, though, is getting sleep, getting good sleep. You'll see that in all of my VODs. Unfortunately, we're actually just ending the stream. You're more than welcome to go back and watch the VOD, my man. But we're actually going to be calling it for definite sure a night here. Big thing is just getting sleep, man. It's one of the big three. It's one of the big three things that I have. I'm not going to cheat myself on that. I really do feel bad for leaving you in the dust here. I'm a small streamer, so I don't have anybody to raid either, unfortunately. The only thing I could just say is, hey, stick around, just drop me a follow if you are interested. Check out some of the VODs. Check out just even check out today's VOD. I got plenty up and going. But anyhow, we're definitely calling it a night here. I've gone over by about 20 minutes anyhow. I love you for stopping by. Again, I love you. I love everybody else who's stopping by. I really honestly do appreciate it. And I'll see you later. I'll be here tomorrow. Same time. Well, not same time. Same time as normal. Normally start at 9 o'clock, go to 11, and maybe a little bit past 11, just depending on whether or not I have stuff to talk about. That's normally what we're doing. Still trying to figure out the schedule or what have you. This is all for you, guy who jumped in. We're repeating what I said, probably for the third time, just for you. I love you, my man. Hang in there. Hang in there. I normally do low rank streams for Apex because I'm terrible at the game. So just expect some interesting topics and some fun stuff to kind of hang out with. But anyhow, have a wonderful night and take care.